live and let you know about something that just recently happened, and this confirms to me why cold calling, especially in-person cold calling, is the least effective method to use when you're trying to find new locations. So if you're looking for locations, either your first location or just to have consistent locations, this video is for you, especially if you've been cold calling or if you've been going door to door and you haven't had any luck. So the first thing is that if you've been doing that, there's nothing wrong with that. That is a legit strategy that works sometime if you do it properly. But when you're getting started and you're really excited for that first location, you need to be using strategies that actually work. I ran a 27 vending machine route by myself nearly 10 years. The latter half of that I did have a partner, and we did over 6 figures in our vending business. I also had a multi-year contract with the Atlanta Braves with a snack pantry that was almost a $100,000 contract. So I'm telling you these things from personal lived experience and not something that I've read, not something that I've heard. So here's how it happens. When you go to find a location and you just walk into a place, you just kind of target the places that you think will make you money or that you've heard are busy, and you don't really have any idea of like what's going on at that location. You don't know if they need your services or not, especially, right? And so you might walk into a location, you're going to either be met by a gatekeeper, whoever's at the front desk, and like I said before, you don't know who you're talking to, so you're going to this gatekeeper and you're just going ahead with your pitch when they really don't even have the ability to tell you yes to put the vending machine in there. So you're talking to the wrong person. You've driven all the way to this location or wherever it is, and now you're talking to the wrong person. The manager's not there. They're, whatever the case may be. And so this just also reminds, this is also what happened to me today, is what I wanted to come and talk about, because basically it's the time of year where there's elections happening. And so I was in the grocery store with my daughters, and I'm shopping in the grocery store. And so when I was looking for something, so when I'm shopping, I also left my list, so I'm writing down, I'm trying to go by memory from what is on my list. And so I'm getting something out of the cabinet and somebody's saying, excuse me. So I'm thinking, I'm blocking something. And I turn around and this lady, she's like trying to register people to vote. And she said, are you registered to vote? And I said, yes. And she said, do you have a voter registration card? And I said, yes. But I really don't want to discuss this right now. I'm just in the middle of shopping. And so then she goes to continue to say whatever she wanted to say, because she didn't expect me to say, no, I'm not interested. And so that's a lot of times what happens when you're going into these locations and you're interrupting their day, and they say, hey, we don't want to, can you please leave or whatever. And then what happened in today is the lady, like I said, she went ahead and started asking me more, trying to talk to me. And I said, well, excuse me, I just said that I didn't want to discuss this because I'm trying to shop. And her face turned so ugly. And anyway, there ended up being an exchange that didn't need to happen if she would have just respected that I said, I'm not interested, I'm registered to vote, and I'm not interested in talking about this. So she just didn't expect me to say no, which is a different situation. But when you're cold calling these locations, that's kind of how it is, when especially you're walking in and you're interrupting their business. You're asking about a vending machine. You don't know if they want a vending machine. You don't know if they have enough people for a vending machine. You don't know who the decision maker is. You're just talking to people. So you're wasting so much time. And instead of doing that, there's another way to do it. So the way that I do it, and the way that I've got most of the locations for anybody that's ever purchased one from me in Georgia, and some of the locations otherwise, the way that I'm getting locations is by creating a system that works when I am not working. So that way, when you get your first location, you get your first lead, you don't have to worry about starting from scratch the next time you need a location. So the steps are very simple, but it does take some time and it does take some consistency. So that's the only thing that you have to lose, right? Is time and spend some consistent time posting or whatever to your socials. So the things that you need: number one, you're going to need a professional website. And not just the website that you threw up there when you started a year ago, or you figured you do it real cheap from somebody on Fiverr. You do need certain things on this website because you want to be found in local searches. Because most small vending operators don't have a website, this is the easiest way for you to get seen. And in addition to that, if they do have a website, so it's like in a big city like Atlanta, there's tons of people with vending websites, but they don't have the right things on the website so that they can be found when somebody's actually searching. So you need to have, of course, your business name. You need to have your service area, so the city that you are offering your services in, and you need to say what service you offer. You also need to have a contact form. Most people miss this step, is the contact form. Instead, they leave their number and their email address, and they expect that somebody will call the phone number or send an email. And also, when you do have your email, your contact information, especially your email address, this should not be a Gmail account. This should not be a Yahoo account. This should be your professional domain. So if you're Atlanta Vending, your email address should be Kendra@atlantavending.com. It should not be a Gmail or a Yahoo account. This will signal to the decision maker that this is a side hustle. This is not real. I'm not calling you. You might not be in business in 2 weeks. So that's the first thing. The website that has local SEO terms on it so that you can be found when somebody's ready to find you. The next thing, and the professional email address. The next thing is that you can't just have a website. You can't just stop there. So you have to have backlinks to other websites. So what are backlinks? It's basically a website pointing back to your website. So how do you create backlinks with your business? Any business, not just vending. You go and you create. So for vending, what works the best, and so service businesses, what works the best, if it's B2B, you're going to need a Google business profile page. You're going to need your Facebook business page, and then you're also going to want to get a LinkedIn business page. These three are going to be the best thing for you to be seen. And you're going to fill out all the socials with the exact same information. So the same business name, the same address, the same phone number, the same services, and the same service area, period. This is going to tell Google that this business is active and it's worth sending traffic to, because not only do you have your website set up, these other websites are also pointing to your website. The third thing is that you want to post on these websites consistently. You do not have to post every day. You only really need to post once a week. You could post twice a week, but once a week is all you need on each site. So make sure you load up some pictures. If you have a location, take pictures of your locations and put those on on those socials and your website. And also, you can use templates as well. If you don't have any locations yet, you can use templates. They do not have to be live photos. They do not have to be anything complicated. You could just go on Canva and find some templates of people using a vending machine or people drinking coffee, whatever your services are, and use that. Because when your decision maker is searching for your business and you're found because you have your website and they find you, they're gonna then click on on your socials, because this is how I do things too. And you probably do too. They're gonna click on your social. They're gonna click on your Facebook or your they probably found you from Google, which is great, your Google business profile. So then they're gonna click on your website, or they're gonna click on your Facebook, or they're gonna click on your LinkedIn. And if especially your Facebook or your LinkedIn has an old post from 8 months ago, once again, they're not going to call you. They don't think that you look credible, that you might not even be operating. And then if your website has old content on there, old pop-up from Christmas or something like that, again, nobody's going to call you. They don't think, if you can't make the time to update your pop-ups and your images, you may not take the time to service my business properly. That's how that correlation is made. So you want to make sure you just have the three things. The local SEO website. You have your business, your Facebook, your Google profile, and your LinkedIn. And then you also want to make sure you post consistently, and that's it. every week. And you can do this once a month and just load up a post, 4 posts for that month, and then do it again the next month. Because when you find that first location, the trick is that you have to just keep looking for locations, especially when you don't need them. Because when you need them, you can never find it. But if you always have a way to get them when you need them, you don't have a problem if you set up this system. So if this video helped you, please share it with somebody else that it might help. Please give me a like, and feel free to reach out to me if you want the checklist that I just went over for how to set up your business system and what should be on your local SEO website. So you can put checklists in the comments, or you can DM me directly. All right, guys, until next time.